Everything in life is an omen. Everything in your life is your subconscious sending you messages all the time. There's no such thing as coincidences. There is only synchronicity. As I started this video, I see a dove sitting on the tree over there. And I've been using the dove emoji a lot lately because doves to me represent purity, like bringing love and life into a place that may have been filled with darkness. Doves provide hope, and especially the emoji is a white dove, so white to me represents purity. So I'm seeing this dove, and I was reminded that when you choose to believe that everything that happens in your life is a sign and a message from your higher self slash subconscious, you stop wasting your mental energy on wondering, is this a sign? Is this not a sign? Okay, we are in the age of like, we do not have energy to waste anymore. Like, we have a certain amount of energy we are given, and it's important that we use that energy to move towards what's in alignment with us so that we can accomplish what we want to accomplish on this earth. Wondering whether, is this a sign? Is this a sign for me to do this? Is this the right, if this is a sign, then I should make that decision, right? But maybe it's not a sign, so maybe I don't make that decision. And at the core of it, it's almost like we're afraid to make decisions because we don't know if it's the right or wrong decision. But the truth is there's no right or wrong decisions in life. There are only decisions. And with every decision, it brings you back to yourself. You can make choices that might be more in alignment with your soul in that moment, or you can make a choice that maybe is not quite as in alignment with your soul. But even that choice that might not be as in alignment is still going to bring you back, because you're going to go through lessons during that decision that ultimately bring you back to yourself and your own soul. So that next time when you're presented that opportunity to make that decision, you have the opportunity to make it more in alignment with you. But yet again, we might make that decision if we're not ready to make the one, if we don't have full trust, we might make the decision again. We might make the decision that's not as in alignment, but that's okay. There's grace. There's grace because we always have the chance again. Because our higher self slash subconscious, I use those terms kind of interchangeably. So when we choose to believe that everything is a synchronicity, it gets confusing because sometimes, people see repeating numbers everywhere and they're like, oh, 333, but what does that mean? It doesn't necessarily have to mean something. It's just your higher self reminding you that you're alive and to be present, and that in this present moment, you are not alone. You are with your soul. Sometimes we forget. Our soul is so multifaceted. It contains the divine. Like, we are never alone. It contains everything. You have everything within you. So we don't need to be wasting any energy being like, was that a sign or was that just a coincidence? I see everything as a sign. Even if I walk by the same address every day that might say 333 on it, I walk by it every day. It's a sign every single day. I'm not going to be wasting my energy thinking, oh, like, no, like, that wasn't actually a sign. Why would it be a sign sometimes and a sign and not a sign other times? Our higher self uses our subconscious to create our reality. And we're always connected, always connected. In quantum healing hypnosis technique, QHHT, which is what I do, We have direct communication with the higher self slash subconscious. And the messages are more clear because it's using your voice to give words to the feelings and thoughts and signs and symbols. But the reality is you have direct communication every single day. It just might not be coming in words to you. It your subconscious uses everything to send you messages. There aren't some things that are messages. There aren't some things that are messages and some things that aren't messages. You have to trust that everything is a message. Hey guys, I'm editing here, and I just wanted to add that I don't know how I failed to mention this in the video, but basically I wanted to reiterate that our subconscious is always creating our reality, and the way we can trust that everything is being created for our benefit through our higher self is that we are an expression of our higher self. We would not exist without being connected to our higher self. Like, we are literally manifestations of our higher self. We have just been conditioned to feel disconnected from it, but our true nature is us being connected and expressing that higher version of ourselves on earth. We are meant to express that higher version. And signs and symbols and messages from our higher self is just everything that's going on in our reality. It doesn't just have to be repeating numbers. It doesn't just have to be like random synchronicities or whatever. I just see it a lot where people think that they're making something up or like imagining something. Like, for instance, in the quantum healing hypnosis technique sessions that I do, our subconscious uses our imagination to show us a message and to teach us things. So, a lot of times, like, I'll use an example. Like, if somebody sees something on their TV a week prior to the session, like about maybe Atlantis or something, and then they come in for the session, and then they see themselves as somebody that lived in Atlantis, or they're getting messages from like Atlantean people or times or whatever, they might think that like, oh, they're just making it up or it's just their imagination, but like that's how our subconscious works. Our subconscious is always communicating with us. It prepares us for what we are to experience. And maybe you have to get used to a certain type of energy. Like, maybe you had to learn a certain thing about Atlantis before you came in for a session, and then you were able to unfold the story even more. Your subconscious is just always communicating with you. So there's no need to question if you made something up, because yeah, you made it up because it's coming from your higher self. Your imagination is important. It always means something. Nothing is random. And the message doesn't have to be like grandiose. It can just be something like bringing you back into the present, which is all we really have, anyways. So, bringing yourself back to presence, it's reminding yourself that you do not have to go through the motions. You are an infinite being that creates its reality. When we question the signs that we get, say you're seeing repeating numbers and you're questioning whether that was just a coincidence or not, that's really just mirroring back to you that disconnect you feel with your own soul. When you choose to take everything as a sign, you are telling your subconscious that you are always listening, and naturally you become more in alignment with your soul on a conscious level. I remember I went to a Christian high school, and there was this one new teacher. She worked in the office. I don't think she was a teacher, but she worked in the office. And I remember I had an elective where I would work in the office for some reason. I don't really remember why I was doing that, but I was spending a lot of time in the office, and this lady was really like taking every side, and you can use the word God too. Like, she would use God, but it's kind of like talking about the same thing, right? Like, we can talk about God, subconscious, higher self. Like, it's kind of all, it's just all intertwined together, right? Like, there's no separation with that. Like, because when we say God, it's like the higher perspective. So she would like always use God, like God showed me this, God did this, God, even in like the smallest little things in her life, she would say, God told me this. And she believed it. She believed in every single moment God was talking to her. And I remember the ladies in the office, the other ladies in the office, would make fun of her. And they would, question that and be like, God's not always talking to you, which is interesting because that's kind of what Christianity teaches, is that God is always with you and God is omnipresent. And, like that's what they teach. So it's interesting that people would make fun of that, but it's really just showing that like how disconnected they felt from themselves. Whereas this lady who was always saying that God was talking to her and told her to do this, and like things would always work out for her, was the interesting part. And I think those other ladies were maybe jealous of this other woman because everything always worked out for her, and she always was talking about how God was always talking to her, and she trusted God. She trusted that inner voice every single time without question. So, with that scenario, it shows how those women, how disconnected they feel from God or their inner truth, right? So, it's all about a choice. Like, it's a choice. I feel like people are scared of that because they're afraid of being wrong. They're afraid of like something not working out the way that they think. But that's the thing. Not everything is going to work out the way that our conscious mind thinks it's going to work out. We have to be okay with going with the flow because our higher self has a different perspective. We might not understand on a conscious level where our higher self is bringing us. Before I went through the biggest heartbreak of my life, I was seeing the numbers 1212 everywhere. Everywhere. When I was falling so deeply for this person, I was seeing 1212, and I was like, this is a sign. This is a sign that this is going to work out right. This is a sign that we are meant to be. This is perfect. And then, like that, it was over. But I continued to see 1212 everywhere. It did not stop. In the deepest heartbreak of my life, I was continuously seeing 1212. And that showed me that it was all in the plan. I was meant to meet this person, even though there was heartbreak. I was still meant to meet this person and go through that heartbreak. Because if I hadn't gone through that heartbreak, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Literally, that heartbreak got me to quit my job and start eliminating everything that doesn't align with my soul. So it taught me that even in the hard moments, it's not just when things are going well and, oh, it's a sign, yay. There are signs in every single moment. You just have to trust it. You have to choose to trust it. There is no harm in just believing that your higher self is always in communication with you. In fact, it helps things work out more consistently because you're showing your subconscious that you trust yourself. We have to detach from the outcome to allow ourselves to trust. Get rid of the ego. The ego attaches itself to how something is going to pan out or work out. We have to let go and just trust every single moment. The present moment is all that you need. And all you have to do is trust everything that is happening. Everything is happening in your highest good. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.